Hello everyone, I am here to explain about tryptophan operon today. Before I initiate tryptophan operon, you should know how tryptophan is synthesized in the bacteria. Generally, the molecule that serves as the precursor for the biosynthesis of tryptophan is chorismate or chorismic acid. So chorismic acid gets converted into anthralinic acid. Anthralinic acid becomes phosphoribosyl anthralinic acid. Phosphoribosyl anthralinic acid becomes indole 3-glycerol phosphate. Indole 3-glycerol phosphate becomes tryptophan. These are the biochemical steps involved in the tryptophan biosynthesis. But you should also know that all the biochemical reactions are catalyzed by a specific enzyme. Here each reaction is catalyzed by the specific enzyme. Here anthralate synthase catalyzes the conversion of chorismic acid to anthralinic acid. Anthralinic acid becomes a phosphoribosyl anthralinic acid with the help of the enzyme anthralate phosphoribosyl transferase. Subsequently, phosphoribosyl transferase, the phosphoribosyl anthralinic acid becomes indole 3-glycerol phosphate by the reaction catalyzed by indole 3-glycerol phosphate synthetase. Then indole 3-glycerol phosphate becomes tryptophan by the enzyme tryptophan synthetase. Parallelly, since these are proteins, they are synthesized or they are coded by a specific gene. So the genes, the corresponding gene names are given in this rectangle. So tryptophan TRPE gene codes anthralate synthase, TRPD gene codes for anthralate phosphoribosyl transferase, TRPC gene codes for indole 3-glycerol phosphate synthetase, TRPA and B genes codes for tryptophan synthetase. So you require totally the bacteria has to express four different proteins. It has to express 5 genes. So let's see how these genes are arranged in the bacterial genome. What I am trying to tell you is, generally in case of the bacteria, the genes are arranged in the form of the operons. Operons means this is the sequential arrangement of cluster of genes. So basically there are 5 genes. The 5 genes are present one after the other and they are under the control of a single promoter. So when these 5 genes undergo transcription, it produces the mRNA that codes for 4 different enzymes. We'll be discussing about all this in the future slides. So this is the structure of the tryptophan operon. Here there is TRPA gene, TRPB gene, TRPC gene, TRPD gene and TRPE gene. TRPA and B gives rise to, when they undergo transcription, they produce the tryptophan synthetase. TRPC gives rise to indole 3-glycerol phosphate synthetase. TRPD gives rise to anthralate phosphoribosyl transferase. TRPE gives rise to anthralate synthase. So now you got to know that when all the 5 genes are expressed, it results in the synthesis of tryptophan in the bacteria. So operons are operated only in the bacteria and they are generally absent in the eukaryotes. Therefore, whenever the bacteria lacks tryptophan in it, so it has to express these 5 genes to synthesize tryptophan inside the cell. Now, so this is the double-stranded DNA which contains all the 5 genes. Apart from this, it also contains the regulatory region which has TRPR gene, that's code for a protein called as repressor protein. There is a promoter. Promoter is essential to recognize these genes by the RNA polymerase. Operator decides whether the operon should be operational or not. Then leader. I am going to discuss about the leader sequence in detail in this video. So you should know a bacteria can have 2 types of conditions. Here W is the 1-letter symbol for the amino acid tryptophan. So this is a bacterial cell where it has lot of tryptophan in it. So the below condition is bacteria with very low amount of tryptophan in it. Therefore, the tryptophan operon is regulated in two different ways. One is called as repression, the other one is called as attenuation. So we shall discuss about these the regulations in detail. So this is a picture which shows you some molecular mechanisms involved in the regulation of the tryptophan operon. The first regulation that I am talking to you is repression. In the repression, this is the double-stranded DNA which has tryptophan operon. TRP, A, B, C, D, E genes are present in the form of the cluster. So here the condition that I am discussing here is abundant tryptophan is present in the bacterial cell. If bacteria has lot of tryptophan in it, it does not require to express TRP, ABCDE genes, because if they are expressed, if they are undergo transcription, they produce the genes or the enzymes that are essentially synthesize tryptophan. Now, in this case, there is abundant amount of tryptophan in the cell. How exactly bacteria stops the expression of ABCDE genes? Let's see now. As I said, there is a protein called as TRPR protein which is encoded by TRPR gene. TRPR gene undergo transcription to produce mRNA. This mRNA produces a protein called as aporepressor protein. The aporepressor protein undergo dimerization with the other monomer of the aporepressor. When it undergo dimerization, it is in the inactive form. So basically aporepressor protein is synthesized in the inactive conformation. So how it get activated? Here it requires the association with the corepressor. The corepressor is, in this case, it is tryptophan. The binding of tryptophan to the aporepressor dimer activates the protein. So you can see in this picture, there is a aporepressor protein formation. Aporepressor undergo dimerization. Once after the dimerization, there is a binding of tryptophan to the aporepressor protein. Please remember, we are discussing about the condition where there is abundant amount of tryptophan in the cell. So tryptophan is easily available, so it binds to aporepressor protein. So as I said, aporepressor dimer undergo activation after the association with the corepressor, that is with the tryptophan. Now this is the activated complex. What is the function of the activated complex? So as soon as it get activated, it binds to the operator sequence. So once it binds to the operator sequence, as I said, operator sequence decides whether the tryptophan should be operational or non-operational. Now operator is bound by the repressor complex. So as you all know, as I explained to you in my very first video, in case of the prokaryotic transcription, RNA polymerases recognize promoter to initiate the transcription of TRPABCDE genes. Now promoter is recognized by the RNA polymerase. It has to move in this direction to transcribe TRPABCDE genes. But because of the binding of the repressor complex to the operator, RNA polymerase cannot move towards the TRPABCDE genes. It is like a roadblock. So the way of the RNA polymerase has been blocked by the repressor complex, and therefore RNA polymerase cannot move. So if RNA polymerase cannot move, TRPABCDE genes are not transcribed. Yes, that is what the bacteria requires. Because TRPABCDE genes, if they are synthesized, if they are transcribed, they produces the proteins which are involved in the synthesis of tryptophan. So because it is already you have abundant amount of tryptophan in the bacteria, it does not require the transcription of these genes. Yes, repressor protein is taking care of the inhibition of the transcription. So this process is called as repression. So this is a type of regulatory mechanism. Then since you have learnt about the presence of the abundant amount of tryptophan in the cell, you should also learn about the absence or lack of tryptophan in the bacterial cell. So what happens when there is no abundant amount of tryptophan in the bacteria? So RNA polymerase, as usual, it can recognize the promoter TRPR gene. First let me explain you this. TRPR gene undergo transcription to produce mRNA. The mRNA gives rise to aporepressor monomer. Aporepressor monomer gives rise to aporepressor dimer, that is they undergo dimerization. See, we are discussing about the condition where there is lack of tryptophan. So when there is lack of tryptophan in the cell, the dimer cannot interact with the tryptophan. If there is no tryptophan present here to interact with the aporepressor, then it resides in the inactive conformation itself. As I explained you in my previous slide, tryptophan is must for the activation of the aporepressor dimer. If it cannot bound by the aporepressor, then it cannot bind to the operator site as well. So it is in the inactive conformation. In the inactive conformation, it cannot interact with the operator. If operator is left free, RNA polymerase recognize the promoter and it can easily travel across the TRP A, B, C, D, E genes. If TRP A, B, C, D, E genes are transcribed by the RNA polymerase, you can see there is a polycistronic mRNA formation. Polycistronic mRNA means the mRNA which codes for multiple proteins. So since TRP ABCD genes are transcribed by the RNA polymerase, it gives rise to a single mRNA. This single mRNA gives rise to 4 different proteins, that is anthralenate synthase, anthralenate phosphoriboside transferase, indole 3-glycerol phosphate synthetase and tryptophan synthetase. So if these proteins are formed in the cell, obviously they assist the synthesis of tryptophan and increases the levels of tryptophan in the cell. So this is how bacteria modulates the gene expression based on the availability of the nutrients, that is nothing but the tryptophan. And next very important mechanism is attenuation. So this is the overall summary of the repression, and you may go through this. Whatever I have explained so far is provided in the form of the text in this slide. And the next very important phenomena that is operated in the tryptophan regulation is attenuation. This is very important, and you will be able to appreciate how a small microorganism modulates the gene expression by such a complicated mechanism. Again, before I get into the attenuation concept, I would like you to know some basics about the basics of the transcription and translation. As you all know, if there is tryptophan in the cell, the role of tryptophan is it should be utilized for the protein synthesis. So if it should be utilized for the protein synthesis through translation, the amino acid is carried to the site of protein synthesis by tRNA. So there is a specific tRNA for the carrying of the amino acid tryptophan. Now you can see that I have written 2 forms of the tRNA. This tRNA I have written with W, that is tryptophan. It is without W, that is without tryptophan. If the tRNA is carrying tryptophan, then we designate the tRNA as charged tRNA. So if the amino acid is carried by the tRNA, then we call it as charged tRNA. This is the tryptophan charged tRNA. Since there is no tryptophan associated with this tRNA, we call this as uncharged tRNA. Now, in addition to this, in the bacterial cell, if there is abundant amount of the tryptophan is attached to the tRNA, and most of the tRNAs will be in the charged form when there is an abundant amount of tryptophan or high amount of tryptophan in the bacterial cell. If there is low amount of tryptophan in the bacterial cell, you can see that only few tRNAs are in the charged form and many of them are in the uncharged form. Therefore, this says that the charging and uncharging of the tRNA depends on the amino acid levels. So this is the basic that you want, you should know before I proceed with the attenuation. The other basic that you should also know is, in the most of my presentation I insist on this point because you should know basically how exactly transcription translation are different in eukaryotes and prokaryotes. In case of the prokaryotes, when there is a transcription going on, the RNA hangs out from the transcription bubble and immediately the RNA is recognized by the ribosomes and they begins to translate. This is possible because there is no compartmentalization. Compartmentalization means there is no nucleus in the prokaryotic cell. Therefore, site of transcription and translation are same. But in case of the eukaryotes, DNA gives rise to RNA through a process of transcription. Then RNA undergo processing to get mature RNA. The mature RNA will be transported to the cytoplasm where the ribosomes are present to undergo translation. Therefore, the prokaryotic cell is unorganized and eukaryotic cell is more organized. But the point here to be remembered here is transcription and translation are coupled in case of the prokaryotes. When the transcription not being terminated, the translation has already been started. So this is very important to understand the attenuation control in case of the tryptophan. So still the transcription is going on, already translation has taken place. So let me explain you how exactly this things works in case of the attenuation. So keeping this thing in mind, let's move on. So I already spoke to you about TRPR gene, P, O, TRP, A, B, C, D, E. But the region that I have not yet touched is leader sequence. L. L means leader sequence. The length of the DNA is 162 base pairs. So once after the RNA polymerase recognize the promoter, if the operator is free, it continues and starts the transcription from this point, from the L. That means the leader sequence is also transcribed into mRNA. What I am trying to tell you is the leader sequence also gets transcribed into mRNA. Now, so this is the beginning of the mRNA. If the leader sequence is transcribed, we get a single stranded mRNA as it continues like this. Now, the length of the mRNA that is formed is also 162 nucleotides as it is derived from the leader sequence. So if the RNA is formed, the RNA may be divided into segment 1, segment 2, segment 3 and segment 4. Sometimes some authors also designated as region 1, region 2, region 3 and region 4. You should know the property of this RNA. When it is transcribed, the RNA formed is has complementation, self-complementation. Self-complementation in the sense S1 has complementary base pairing with S2, S2 has complementary base pairing with S3, S3 has complementary base pairing with S4. Therefore, there are two possibilities. One is if there is complementation among the segments, it can form stem loop structure. Always whenever there is a complementary base pairs, self-complementary base pairs, then it means that they can form the stem loop structure as indicated here. If S1 can form the stem loop structure with S2, then S3 can form the stem loop structure with S4. Parallelly, if S2 is involved in the self-complementation or making the complementary base pairing with S3, S1 cannot make complementary base pairing with S2. At the same time, when there is a complementary base pairing between S2 and S3, stem loop structure formation between S2 and S3, S3 cannot involved in the stem loop structure formation between S4. Therefore, there are two possibilities. Either they can make two stem loop structures, or it can make only one stem loop structure between S2 and S3. So if there is S1 complementation with S2, it can form the stem loop structure with S2. S3 can form S4. So with this basics, I will explain you how exactly the transcription is regulated in case of the mechanism of attenuation in the prokaryotes. Then I hope all of you have understood that this is the mRNA with 4 segments which have the complementary sequence with each other. Here the sequencing of S1 gave us the nucleotide sequence like this. You can see that there is a AUG codon followed by AAA followed by GCA, so on. So S1, if S1 is recognized by the ribosome, when it undergo translation, it gives rise to 14 amino acid polypeptide chain, 14 amino acid peptide. Now that is first amino acid methionine, lysine, alanine, isoleucine, phenylalanine and so on. Then you should also remember that 10th and 11th codons they code for the amino acid tryptophan. There are 2 codons that codes for tryptophan. They are in the 10th and 11th position. So when the RNA polymerase transcribes the leader sequence, it produces the RNA with the 162 nucleotides, and that 162 nucleotides has divided into 4 segments. When the first segment is translated by the ribosome, it produces the 14 amino acid peptide with 2 tryptophan in it. So by understanding this mechanism, let's see how the tryptophan operon is regulated. Okay, in this case, let's consider there is high amount of tryptophan in the cell. So as you know, when there is high amount of tryptophan in the cell, TRP ABCDE genes should not be transcribed. So somehow the movement of the RNA polymerase should be halted before it reaches TRP ABCDE genes. The other mechanism that the bacteria has adopted is attenuation, where you see this picture. This is the RNA polymerase. The oval is the RNA polymerase. It has started transcribing the leader sequence. You can see that this is the RNA, that is the red color band is the RNA that is coming out. So as soon as the RNA comes out of the RNA polymerase, it is recognized by the ribosomes. Once the ribosomes recognizes this RNA, they begin to translate this RNA. Now you please remember, we are discussing about high tryptophan levels in the cell. Therefore, as I explained you in the previous picture, there are 2 codons at 10th position and 11th position which codes for tryptophan, and we are discussing about high tryptophan condition. In the high tryptophan condition, please recall your basics. in the high tryptophan condition, all the tRNA are in the charged form. They are charged with tryptophan. That means ribosomes easily finds the charged tRNA, that is tryptophan. Therefore, the translation moves smoothly. Again, coming back to this picture, you can see this. This is the 14 amino acid peptide that is formed. You can see here that again, when the segment 1 is translated by the ribosome, it easily finds the tryptophan, since there is abundant amount of the tryptophan in the cell, and it continues to translate the whole S1. That means to say that there is a stop codon at the end, UGA, that codes for stop codon. That UGA signals the ribosomes to stop the translation. So coming back to this picture, this is the S1 segment till the black line. So ribosomes have traveled across the segment 1 and stop their activity at the stop codon. As you know that stop codon is present at the end of the segment 1. So since the ribosomes are huge machinery, ribosomes have occupied some portion of segment 1 and some portion of segment 2. Since there is a protein association with the RNA, basically ribosomes are stopping the stem loop structure formation between S1 and S2. As I said in the earlier slides, S1 and S2 are complementary to each other. There is the ribosomes association between S1 and S2. Ribosomes have occupied both S1 and S2, some portion of S1 and S2. Therefore, the S1 and S2 cannot form the self-complementation. Ribosomes are stopping it from formation of the self-complementary base pairs, and therefore the ribosomes have stopped in the middle because of the UAG, that is the stop codon. But the movement of the ribosome cannot affect the movement of the RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase still continues to transcribe, because if the ribosome stops, it doesn't mean that RNA polymerase should also stop. RNA polymerase will not stop its activity and it continues to transcribe S3, S4 region. So I will explain you this. Yes. In this picture you can see the S3 and S4. Though the ribosomes have stopped their activity between S1 and S2, the RNA polymerase is continued to transcribe S3 and S4 as well. So you know that S3 and S4 can form the stem loop structure. There are no ribosomes on S3 and S4 because the ribosomes have stopped its activity somewhere in the middle. S3 and S4 they have self-complementation and they can form the stem loop structure. In the next picture you can see there is a transcription of S3 and S4 region. Immediately S3 and S4 forms the stem loop structure like this. And if you know how exactly the prokaryotic transcription is terminated, a stem loop structure followed by 7 uracil residues signals for the RNA polymerase to stop its activity. That is what it is taking place here. There is a stem loop structure. Immediately after the segment 4, there are 7 uracil residues in the RNA. That means 7 adenosine residues in the template DNA. That gives rise to 7 uracil residues. So, a stem loop structure followed by 7 uracil residues is a clear signature for the RNA polymerase to stop its activity. So, immediately RNA polymerase stops its activity. and RNA polymerase get detached from the template DNA, that is from the TRP ABCD genes, that is from the tryptophan operon. So there is a detachment of the RNA polymerase itself. So please remember, we are discussing about the condition where there is a high tryptophan in the cell. Yes, whenever there is high tryptophan in the cell, RNA polymerase need not to express TRP ABCDE genes. So immediately RNA polymerase leaves the template DNA. This is how bacteria stops the movement of the RNA polymerase in case of by using the attenuation mechanism. So after getting to know, you may get a question, what about if there is low tryptophan in the cell? How or why this stem loop structure is not attenuating the movement of the RNA polymerase? You may get this question. The question will be answered like this. So you got to know that this is the S3 and S4. There is a formation of the stem loop structure followed by 7 uracil residues. This is also called as attenuator loop. The stem loop structure formed between S3 and S4 is called as the attenuator loop, which stops the movement of the RNA polymerase. So in the other condition, in the low tryptophan in the cell, if there is a low amount of tryptophan in the cell, exactly the promoter is recognized by the RNA polymerase. It starts to scan the operator and it crosses the leader sequence. Yes, there is a formation of the mRNA. The segment 1 is transcribed. Segment 1 is occupied by the ribosomes. Once after the occupying the ribosome tries to translate the codons into amino acids. You know that there are 2 codons at 10th and 11th position. So we are discussing about low tryptophan condition in the cell. In the low tryptophan in the cell, you hardly see charged tRNAs because the tryptophan is not available. Therefore, the tRNAs are in the uncharged form. So it is unlikely to see charged tRNA. Therefore, the point to be noted here is ribosomes stops their activity at the 10th codon because the ribosomes have recognized 10th codon as the codon that codes for the tryptophan. But since it is not finding tryptophan charged tRNA in the cellular environment, ribosomes stops their activity at the 10th codon. As I said, it will not stop the activity of the RNA polymerase. The movement of the ribosomes is not dependent on the movement of the RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase continues to transcribe. Here, very important point to be noticed here is the ribosomes have stopped their activity solely on the segment 1. They have not yet reached the segment 2. In case of the high tryptophan levels, the ribosomes have stopped their activity in the interface of segment 1 and segment 2. They occupied both the segments and they are not allowing the formation of the stem loop structure between segment 1 and segment 2. But in this case, they have solely halted their activity on the only segment 1 and segment 2 is not touched upon. Segment 2, you can see here in this picture, segment 2 is free, segment 3 is free, segment 4 is free. Therefore, you can see that the ribosomes have stopped their activity in the segment 1 itself. Segment 2 is free, segment 3 is free. Therefore, soon after the transcription, of course, as the RNA polymerase is moving, segment 2 is the first segment to be transcribed, followed by segment 3. Immediately, segment 1 forms the stem loop structure with the segment 3 like this. Segment 1 has your ribosome, segment 2 and segment 3 are free to form the stem loop structure. Before segment 4 is transcribed, they form the stem loop structure. Therefore, there is no way that the segment 3 can form the stem loop structure with segment 4. So immediately after formation of segment 2 and segment 3, there are no 7 uracil residues. You must note that if the transcription of the prokaryote should be terminated, the stem loop structure should be followed by 7 uracil residues. But in this case, there are no 7 uracil residues. A simple stem loop structure cannot terminate the transcription. Only stem loop structure that is followed by 7 uracil residues can stop the termination. Therefore, the formation of this S4 or the synthesis of segment 4 will not affect the transcription of TRP ABCDE genes by the RNA polymerase. Therefore, S2 and S3 is not the attenuation loop. Only the loop that is formed between S3 and S4 is considered as the attenuator loop. Therefore, S2 and the formation of the stem loop structure between S2 and S3 prevents the formation of the stem loop structure between S3 and S4, which results in the promotion of the transcription in such a way that TRP ABCD genes are efficiently recognized by the RNA polymerase to continue to transcribe these genes. If these genes are transcribed, the bacteria, it is a signal that there is low amount of tryptophan in the cell. If there is low amount of tryptophan in the cell, the bacteria, by this mechanism, the bacteria produces lot of tryptophan by itself to make the process convenient for the translation of other proteins and the mRNAs. So this is all about the attenuation control. So this slide gives you the summary of the whatever the tryptophan operon or the attenuation control that you have studied. So based on this explanation, so what I would like to conclude is that basically bacteria has adopted two mechanisms. One is the two regulatory mechanisms. The first one is the repression, the second one is attenuation. In case of the repression, the repressor protein is formed in the inactive conformation. When the presence of the tryptophan activates it, if the cell senses that there is enough amount of tryptophan, it immediately binds the operator and it will not allow the transcription. Otherwise, that you have understood the attenuation process, the presence or the absence of the tryptophan, how exactly it is going to modulate the activity of the operon. Thank you.